Good evening and welcome. I am Amarachi Ubani. Tonight, Department of State Services warns of possible terror attacks on parks and places of worship during Eid al-Fitr celebrations. Governor Okezie Ikpeazu vows to seek justice following INEC's confirmation that it received his appeal against the High Court ruling which sacked him from office. Factional leader of the PDP, Ali Modu Sharif, gets injunctions stopping the Ahmed Rakafi faction from holding governorship primaries in Edo and Ondo states. And gunmen take hostages after storming a popular cafe in the diplomatic area of the Bangladeshi capital, Dhaka.
On business news tonight, Nigeria's manufacturing index picks up in the month of June.
And in sports news, defending champion Serena Williams and sister Venus both survived tricky ties to progress at Wimbledon.
I'm Gloria Umezuke, and from Abuja, federal government renegotiates contract sum for the Lagos-Calabar Rail project, reduces cost from $11.9 to $11.1 billion.
We begin tonight in Kaduna State, northwest Nigeria, where the Sierra Leonean Deputy High Commissioner to Nigeria, retired Major General Nelson Williams, is said to have been kidnapped. It was gathered that the Deputy High Commissioner was forcefully taken away by gunmen in the early hours of today while on his way from Abuja to attend the graduation ceremony of the senior course at the Armed Forces Command and Staff College in Jaji, Kaduna State. Police spokesperson Mr. Don Awuna, who confirmed the incident to Channels Television on the phone, said the Inspector General of Police has deployed a team of policemen to Kaduna to assist in the rescue of the kidnapped envoy. The senior course graduation ceremony is an annual event which marks the end of a 12-month training for senior military officers, the majority of whom are drawn from the Nigerian Armed Forces and other ECOWAS countries, including Sierra Leone. Meanwhile, the Department of State Services has alerted Nigerians of the need to look out for suspicious packages and strange persons within their communities ahead of and during Eid al-Fitr celebrations. Spokesperson of the DSS, Mr. Tony Opuyo, today confirmed that DSS has been availed of intelligence suggesting possible terror attacks by militants on selected locations across the country. Some locations of interest include parks and places of worship. The DSS affirms its commitment to adopt strategies aimed at ensuring the security and safety of all law-abiding residents and citizens. Mr. Apuyo also advised members of the public to be security conscious and report suspicious persons or activities to relevant security operatives. We're in ABIA State now. Mr. Okezie Ikpeazu says he remains the legitimate governor of the state. According to him, the Constitution gives him the right to appeal the case. He also said he was surprised at what he describes as INEC's rush to issue a certificate of return to Mr. Uche Oga. Governor Ikpeazu was making the comment at Government House Umuahia, where he called for calm and support from all residents in the state. He's also confident that the judiciary will do the needful. The governor dismissed rumors that the federal government has a hand in the case.
And what is on trial is our democracy. It is not about me as a person, but about the will of the people of Abia State. And why it is very difficult for Abia people to accept is that everybody knows very well that I've been working for government in this environment. I did not come from elsewhere. And my last duty post, which was Asepapa, was such a job that everybody saw, even on the streets while I was doing it. And so for somebody to come and say that I had problems with my task, to ABIA people is strange, because they know where I was working and they know that government was paying me. And the Board of Internal Revenue, whose duty it is to assess and levy tax, had come out with an affidavit to say yes, these documents were issued by us. So if there are questions to be asked, the Board of Internal Revenue are those to answer, the people to answer the question. And to that extent, I want to assure you that we are resolute in our determination to defend the mandate which was freely given to us by ABIA people. There is a court order restraining the chief judge or any legal officer anywhere in Nigeria from swearing in somebody. And there is no doubt about who is in charge and who is governor, because you people witnessed the day we were sworn in. You people also witnessed when we took the oath of allegiance, and no other person has taken that oath on behalf of the position of Governor of Abia State.
Mr. Okezie Ikpeazu. Meanwhile, the Independent National Electoral Commission has admitted receiving a notice of appeal from the Abia State Governor, Okezie Ikpeazu. The Commission, however, said the documents it received did not contain a stay of execution order to stop the issuance of a certificate of return to Samson Oga. The electoral body had on Thursday issued a certificate of return to Mr. Oga, as directed by a federal high court in Abuja on Monday. Justice Okonabang had ruled that Mr. Ikpeazu submitted fraudulent tax documents when he filed papers to run for the governorship position on the platform of the People's Democratic Party. And more court orders continue to flood the camp of the People's Democratic Party as the leadership crisis deepens. Justice Okonabang of the Federal High Court in Abuja today gave an order asking the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to recognize the Senator Ali Modu Sharif group in the conduct of any activity of the party, including primary elections and congresses for the Edo and Ondo governorship election. The order issued and signed by the registrar, Mr. Olawale Oladoyin, also restrains INEC and the PDP organs from according recognition or dealing with any other persons or group in the case of the Edo and Ondo elections other than Senator Sharif and his group. The court document clearly highlights that the orders are pending the hearing and determination of the originating summons. But in the meantime, the order also instructs INEC to reject and ignore any activity, including primary elections or Congress for the nomination of candidates for the Edo and Ondo governorship elections. Meanwhile, there are currently about 100 court cases on various disagreements within the People's Democratic Party at the national and state levels. That's according to the factional deputy chairman of the party, Mr. Cairo Jubo, who told journalists in Abuja that the series of court cases and injunctions threaten the party's survival ahead of 2019. He appealed to serving governors of the party and all those in court to withdraw their cases in the interests of the PDP.
I am therefore calling and appealing to the governors and to everybody to please drop all court cases. Recognize Sheriff as the chairman of the party. Let us all go back to our office, lock ourselves in a room, and resolve our problems. Only that way will there be peace in the party. If we are going to wait for court cases to determine who the rulership and the leadership of PDP is going to be, the answer, there will be no surprises. I repeat, it will be Sheriff. As of today, there are over 100 cases in the court. And to wait for the court to determine all of them, 2019 will be too late. For special emphasis, I want to appeal to our governors who are going to seek re-election in the next 2 years, that they will be the greatest losers in this fight. They should not come back home, accept Sheriff. Sheriff has agreed that as soon as everybody comes back, he will do a convention that will be acceptable to all, and the party will move forward.
To more legal matters, the Federal High Court in Abuja has granted bail to the former governor of Adamawa State, Mr. Umar Fintiri, in the sum of 500 million naira, with 2 sureties in like sum. The accused is also expected to submit his travel documents to the court registrar. The passport photographs of the sureties are also to be submitted with the registrar of the court. In addition, the court held that the position of the prosecution that Mr. Fintiri could jump bail cannot hold because he's been on administrative bail as granted by the EFCC. Justice Ahmed Mohammed adjourned the case till October 6th for commencement of trial.
A bail condition usually is a constitutional matter, and it's also discretionary. It's at the discretion of the judge, and I'm pleased that His Lordship has exercised his discretion judicially and judiciously. And we have no qualms with the terms of the conditions are granted. And there are conditions that my client should be able to abide by them and comply.
The Senior Special Assistant to the President on National Assembly Matters, Senator Ita Enang, today denied reports that aides to the President will be called as witnesses against the Senate's leadership in the ongoing case of forgery allegations. Speaking to journalists in his office, the presidential aide said he will be a witness in the case as a former chairman of the Senate Committee on Business and Rules and not as an aide to the President. Senator Enang also explains that no amendment was made to the Senate rules during his time as chairman of the committee.
Why I have called, and all this preceded my appointment sometimes in the last week of August 2015. So I am not in this matter named as aide of the President, but as a person who is deemed to have been involved in the rules and business, who ought to know whether or not the rules were amended. As that today, from all the statements of all the parties I have read, no person has stated that the rules were amended by the 7th Senate. Every person has agreed that the rules were not amended by the 7th Senate, and the rest are contained in the statement. I will not descend into the arena of the matter by going into the detail. All I want to clarify again and again and again is that I am not named as aide of Mr. President.
Speaking of whom, the President is right now spending the weekend in his country home in Daura, Katsina State, northwest Nigeria. President Muhammadu Buhari was seen off at the Nnamdi Azikiwe Airport at about 2 p.m. after Jumat prayers in the presidential villa. On landing at the Umaru Musa Yar'Adua Airport in Katsina, he was received by the Governor of Katsina State, Mr. Aminu Bello Masari, and some indigents of the state. The President is expected back in Abuja on Monday. And still ahead in part 2, after the break, properties worth millions of naira destroyed in Adamawa State as floods render hundreds of people homeless. Please join us again.